YouTube, what up? It's your boy, Young Wavy, forever. So I came by to give a quick talk session, knowing it's probably not going to be quick. But here you go. Question that I've been seeing all over the place. Questions that I've been getting asked, my inbox. Question I see other wavers getting asked. How to get waves on the sides. I had this problem before too. My connection on the sides wasn't all that, and it took me a while to figure it out as to what was happening and why my top and my back was all waved up nicely, but my sides wasn't. So here it is. Basically, what you want to do first and foremost, it's a couple things that have to do with your sides. Basically, your haircut. Number two, how you brush, and number three, putting in your products. A lot of people. First of all, let's start off with the haircut. Haircuts are the main point of this. When you go to the barber shop, for those of you who because I get tapers too. You get your tapers, you get your fades, and stuff like that. What you're not realizing is your taper and your fade is not where it's brought down to where your hair or below your wavelength. Basically, remember, everybody has a wavelength, or let me rephrase that, a length at which your hair curls to form a wave. So where you get your tapers, your fades around your head on the sides, and then tapers in the back, if you get those low, your waves are not going to connect like, say, the middle of your head here, or the round where your crown is, or the back of your head, or upper part of your sides, because it's always down here where people say they're having an issue, is because if you get your tapers too high or too low, you're going to have that issue. Your connection is not going to be flawless, or your connection is not going to be the same as your top or as the back of your head. Same thing with your fades. You're going to notice this lower part of your side is not going to be waved up. So the trick to this, basically, and experienced wavers, beginner also can take heed to this. Start out or cut your hair evenly. Basically, go get you a Caesar, an even cut all the way around. Whether you want to start fresh from a 1.5, whether you want to, just get an even cut. Tell your barber to give you a Caesar, even cut, 1.5 all the way around. This way your hair is even all the way around. Continue your routine, your brushing, you're adding your products. When you brush, you must brush from your crown through your hairline. If you brush, you're brushing your hair. I know as people come brush, they stop right at their hairline. Brush through it. I'm not saying you got to brush your skin. You know where your hairline is. You know where your hair stops and starts. Brush through it. You can always lift the brush up, but brush through. Make sure this part of the brush hair is going through your hairline. Brush through your hairline. Don't stop short. Don't stop short. Don't stop short. When you stop short, that's when your edges and everything else doesn't get waved up. And bad enough you have a tape or a fade and you're not brushing all the way through your hairline. So this is why I recommend get you a Caesar. You want a wolf, you want a beast, do your Caesar. With just getting a Caesar, no tapers, no fade, do that. This way, your entire hair or entire head will curl up. Everything will be wavy. And you'll be brushing all the way through. Same thing with the top. You brush from your crown all the way through your hairline. Same thing with your back. From your crown down all the way through your hairline. Go get you a Caesar. I showed you guys how to tie your durag on, leaving the flaps open. They should be open all the way around, except for when you tie your knot. That's the only part that should be scrunched up, and that should be sitting on your first go around. Your first go around goes around and lays flat. The second come around and you tie it, leaves the knot. The knot should be sitting on top of that even layer. This way, then the back of your head, the lower back, is the wave cap is laying flat. You're not going to have that line. You're not going to have the line going across your forehead. It's just that simple. Tying your do-rag too. Once again, brushing your hair all the way through your hairline definitely helps. You know, starting from a Caesar, letting your hair grow evenly, brushing it evenly, you know, getting your entire head to wave up. And at that point, once you have advanced in this technique and you have your Caesar, you have your waves everywhere, then you can go get your tapers. See how I get my tapers? I tell my barber, because I don't brush my hair the same way on both sides, so I tell my barber basically, take the taper to my first wave. Wherever my first wave is, that's where he takes the taper. So it may not look the same. The taper may not look the same on this side as it do on this side, but hey, I'd rather have the wave connection than the same taper. You know? Because everybody's looking for the flawless connection. Everybody's looking for that pattern. You know, everybody wants waves on the sides, waves in the back, waves on the top. They want them all connected. Take the taper once you start getting your tapers to your first wave. So that's, he comes up your sideburns, or if you don't have sideburns and he's starting from the edge part here, he comes up to the first wave. That's as high as the taper should go. The taper should not be up here. Should not, the fade, if you have waves and you're talking about you want a wave haircut, that's how the wave haircut should go. You start out with a Caesar, and once you have waves everywhere and you're getting your taper, the taper goes to your first wave. That's how I do it. That's how I get my connection on the side. You know, I find my brushing pattern on the side and I stick to it. I don't brush different ways, you know. Like I told you with this premium brush and several other brushes, I've noticed it with Diane's, I've noticed it with Wave Enforcers, Annie's. Some brushes, each side has a different feel to it, you know. I rotate the brush around my head. I brush in a circle. If I start from my top, I go to my right, I go to my back, and I come to my left. If I start from my right, I go to my back, I come to my left, I go to my top. In that same motion, while keeping the brush. So I'm brushing my right side, the brush is like this. I'm brushing the back side, it's like this. Brushing the left side, it's like this. Brushing the top, it's like this. So I'm using that same side of the brush to go down to my hairline. This part touches my hairline first all the time because I brush in that circle. You know? And the same thing, for those of you who brush top, back, then your sides, it's the same routine. Make sure you're angling and holding the brush in the same position. Even if you switch hands, make sure you remember how you was holding it in your other hand so that it adapts to the other hand. And that's basically it, you know? And once again, you know, when adding your products, you want to start from your crown and come all the way down to your hairline. Putting products in your hair. Key thing, rub the product in your hand. Rub it in your hand. Certain products, Curl Enhancer Smoothie, turns your hands white. Make sure your entire hand is white. Don't rub it in your hand and the top hair of your fingertips are not white, or the bottom half of your hand is not white. Make sure your entire hand, because remember, when you're putting your greasing, you want to put your entire hand on your head and just do a rubbing motion all the way down. Basically, that's all you have to do. You know, evenly distribute the product in your hair. Makes it a lot easier for when you start brushing to distribute the product. If you comb, makes it a lot easier for you to comb it through. It's just that simple. Key thing, starting from your crown and going down. You don't want to start in the middle of your head and go down, because now you haven't put any grease in your crown, and brushing from your crown to your hairline is going to make no sense because you don't have any grease back here. You're just brushing and pushing the grease that you put in the middle of your head to the front. because it's not like you're brushing it back. You're brushing forward. So, putting products in your hair, key thing. Your haircut, key thing. The way you brush your hair, key thing. So that's basically it. That's my my video on getting waves on the sides. Once again, your boy. Find any other techniques. I'm gonna spread the knowledge. If you have any questions about this video, any in detail questions that I didn't explain, or you probably want to ask, hit my inbox, comment this video, like this video, make it your favorite. It's your boy, Young Wavy, forever.